Can you create your own products, even as a complete beginner with no experience? I think that it's important to start this report by answering the above question. Yes. It is most definitely possible. At this point, now that we have got that out of the way, you need to make sure that you remove all doubt, all inhibitions, and approach this with an open mind. Above all, you have to have the right attitude and mindset, because without those, it won't work. As soon as you start saying, yes, but, or, that's all very well for him, but nothing. You can do this. You will do this. All it takes is the proper perspective, a willingness to learn, and a willingness to implement. I appreciate that although you may like the idea of creating your own digital products, it might seem scary for you, especially as a beginner. I know the feeling. I felt the same. But all it might take is just a slight shift in your mindset to go from someone who is paralyzed by fear to someone who goes for it and gets the job done, even though they're only just starting out online. One thing that is crucial is this: keep it simple. There's no need to complicate things, both in creating the actual product itself and in your approach to the task. You just need to be clear on what you want to create, how and why. Research. Before you do anything, you're going to have to do a little research. Yeah, I know, no one likes doing research. Research is boring, you just want to get to the good stuff. Well, if you skip on this first aspect, you are destined to struggle with the later parts of the process. But don't worry, I'm not going to suggest that you spend weeks, days, or even hours in research mode. I want you to take action and get moving as soon as possible, so I'm going to try to make this as clear, simple, and short as possible for you. The very first thing you need to decide upon is what niche your product is going to be in. There are two important things that you should bear in mind when choosing a niche. 1, it needs to be profitable. It's no good how you think an idea you have might be. If there's no market for it, it's going to be extremely difficult to get results. 2, it should be something in which you have an interest. Yes, in theory, you can enter any niche you choose, but how much easier it is to work with something in which we have an interest, right? To give you an idea, the 3 main, big niches online are consistently health, wealth, and relationships. There are other big, profitable niches, such as computing, music, art, video gaming, and many more. But health, wealth, and relationships are the biggies. Within each niche you then have sub-niches. For example, within the video gaming niche there are console gaming, retro gaming, PC gaming, mobile gaming, and so on. So, whichever niche you choose, make sure that it's one for which there is a market, and preferably one in which you have an interest. Once you have established your niche, the next thing would be to find out what people want. There are a number of ways in which you can do this, but here are a few places to start. Go to where people in your niche hang out. This might be forums, Facebook groups, Twitter, YouTube, etc. From there you can observe, interact, and then determine what it is people are wanting. For example, if you're in the make money online niche, one of the most popular places is a forum called the Warrior Forum. On this forum there are sections for general discussion based around more specific subjects, classified ads, selling products, and more. By spending a little time in the general discussion area, for example, you can get a very good idea as to what kind of things people want to know, are struggling with, etc. In the section, Warrior Special Offers, where people sell their own products, you can get an idea of what kind of things people are buying. On the Warrior Forum, and probably on most other forums, you can reorder the posts so that you can view them according to the number of comments or views, so you can quickly get an overview of popular topics. You can also go to social media platforms such as Facebook and join groups in your niche to see what kind of questions people are asking or what topics are consistently coming up. If you go to digital marketplaces such as ClickBank or JVZoo, it is possible to see what products are being created, what's selling, and in what volume. These are all ways in which you can get a good idea of the types of things that people are wanting. Spend a little time doing this and you'll soon start to spot trends. For example, With regards to online marketing, you would soon notice that topics such as traffic, lead generation and email marketing are consistently popular. Format. Once you have decided on the topic, you next need to decide on what format your product is going to take. Is it going to be written? Video? Audio? A membership? If you have design and creative skills in a given area, perhaps you will decide on something that meets a specific need, such as graphics, audio, software, or perhaps a collection of templates of some kind. If you don't have any skills or any marketable knowledge at this time, continue reading, as we won't be leaving you out. You can still very much create your own product. Original or PLR. As we said just previously, it may be that you already have some knowledge or some skills that you can apply to creating a product. For example, there will always be a need for graphics, so if you're able to create graphics, then this is something that could form the basis of a product. Maybe you could create logos, motivational images for social media, infographics, banners, backgrounds, etc. If you're a musician and are good with audio, then perhaps you could create a collection of audio tracks or sound effects. Again, people will always want this stuff. If you're not very technical but have some knowledge in a particular area, then you could create a training on that subject. The point is, if you have some marketable knowledge or skills, make sure to think about that as a basis for a product. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that your experience and knowledge can't be monetized. Make no mistake, people want information. After all, that's why you picked up this report, right? Information sells. Yes, there is a lot of free information around, especially on the World Wide Web, but people will still pay for information. They do it on a daily basis when they buy newspapers, magazines, digital subscriptions, courses, and so on. People are always wanting information, and they will be willing to pay for it. If someone wants to know a particular thing and you can meet that need, they will be happy. But then comes the question, what if I'm interested in a particular niche but I don't have any experience or any skills? Well, this is where you have a couple of options. 1. You go away and learn. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but it's really that simple. Go away and learn the thing, apply it, get results with it. Then create a product based on that. 2. Use PLR content. What is PLR? PLR stands for private label rights. Think of it as white label content. In other words, you can do pretty much what you want with it. Edit it, rebrand it, add to it, claim it as your own. Just a note here. You do need to check what the license agreement is with any PLR content that you obtain. Usually you will get the rights to do absolutely anything with it, but sometimes there will be certain conditions, so make sure you check. Now, what some people do with PLR, and, technically, you can do this and there's nothing wrong with it, per se, is simply take the content, rebrand it, change the graphics, put their name on it, and then give it away, sell it as it is. While that is certainly possible and is one of the fastest and easiest methods, it isn't the method I would recommend. What I recommend is using PLR content as a template or framework upon which to base your own content. Now, this could prompt the same question as before regarding not having any experience. How can you edit something effectively and add to it if you don't have any prior experience? Well, the obvious way to learn would be from the PLR content itself. This also gives you a very good idea as to the quality of the content. Basically, if you can learn from the content, then it is good enough. So, you would learn from it, apply what you learn, get to know the topic well enough through that practical application, get results, and then be in a qualified position to rework the content as your own. If you can't learn well enough from it, well, that's a clear sign that it isn't good enough. You should be able to learn from it. Either way, once you have the knowledge about the topic, use the PLR as a framework from which to build. It still requires time and some work, but it's much faster than trying to come up with the framework from scratch. And, as I just mentioned, if you don't already know about the subject, then you can learn from the content itself. Changing the format of PLR content. Another way in which you can make good use of PLR content is to change the format. So, for example, if the PLR is a PDF, perhaps you can make a slideshow video from it. Or if it's a video, then you can transcribe it and make a PDF from it. Or perhaps a series of lessons that you could place in a free membership site. If you don't want to do this yourself or don't have the skills to do it, you could outsource the work by finding someone on Fiverr.com, for example. On Fiverr there are loads of people who will do transcribing work, voiceovers, etc. Outsourcing a developer. This is a method that is probably going to be the least attractive for a beginner, but I thought I'd mention it so as to at least give you another option. While you could technically hire anyone to do the creation side of things for you, we've already mentioned Fiverr, for example. The most common scenario for this is if you want to release a piece of software, such as a WordPress plugin, for example. Again, if you have the skills to create something that meets a need in the marketplace, then great. But if you don't have the skills, yet have an idea for a software product that meets a popular need, then you could outsource the work to a developer. This will require some funds up front, and you will need to ensure that you find someone reliable, as well as someone with whom you can work well with. Bear in mind that you might need to provide technical support, as well as supply updates, so you are going to want to be sure that your developer is on board for that going forwards. You don't want to get something built, put it out there and find that you're unable to help people if they encounter issues. Getting it out there. How you decide to distribute your product is up to you. To start with, you might simply want to create a free giveaway, much like this report. If you want to sell your product, then you could accept direct payments via PayPal, for example, or perhaps using a third-party marketplace such as ClickBank, JVZoo or Warrior Plus. It is worth noting that if any of your customers come from the EU, then if your product is an automated digital download, you will be liable to pay EU VAT to the country of sale, which makes things more complicated when using platforms such as JVZoo or Warrior Plus. If you want a platform that handles all of that for you so that all you have to concentrate on is creating your product and selling it, then ClickBank or PayHip are good options. The trade-off is that you will have to pay small fees, but PayHip in particular is extremely competitive and very easy to use. Simple as that. It really doesn't need to be more complex than that. Of course, there are more complex ways of selling products online, but you don't need to be thinking about any of that at this stage. For now, just focus on keeping things as simple as you possibly can. Create your product, choose a method of delivery and get it out there. Some people, though, don't want to spend the majority of their time in creating and maintaining their own products. They would prefer to sell other people's products as an affiliate and make commissions from doing so. That is certainly a possibility and one that I definitely encourage you to think about. After all, the more streams of income you can get into your business, the better. The thing is, until you get a large enough subscriber or customer base to make affiliate marketing profitable, your earning potential will, at least to some degree, be somewhat limited, as you will usually only make commissions up to a certain point in the sales funnel. The real money is really made in the back and in recurring income, but rarely will you find an affiliate program that caters to that. Well, if you would like to find out about how you can make commissions on not only the front-end sales, but also throughout the funnel, including the high-ticket back-end and recurring sales, then I invite you to stick around for just a little longer. What if I told you that not only can you get access to such earning potential, but you could have ongoing training, mentorship and support from the team behind the products, as well as access to new products as they are released? Is that something that you might like to plug into your business? If so, I invite you to a special webinar that will teach you how to do exactly that. Less than click here to secure your place right now. Greater than. In the meantime, if there is anything further that I can help you with, please don't hesitate to less than contact me by clicking here. Greater than. I look forward to hearing from you and I look forward to seeing your first digital product. To your success. Peter.